Okay, I'm going to talk about some of the perception of edges projects that we've been doing here in class that maybe some of you have missed. And so the first one's going to be a blind contour. And so we're going to do similar to what we did before in that we're going to close one of our eyes, like our non-dominant eye, so that we can flatten space. And we're going to hold our pencil out like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold it to its side so that we can trace around the outside of our objects. So you want to set up a pretty complicated still life for some things that are interesting for you to draw in such a manner that you're going to have good, interesting contours going on in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is close my eye, and essentially I'm going to begin this process of doing my best to trace around all of these little bits. I'm going to do this fairly quickly to start with. I've got my eye closed, working my way around. When I feel like I've got all of my subject matter kind of worked out, and again, this is a left-right brain thing, it'll kind of fatigue you a little bit, then you're ready to go ahead and place your pencil on your paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and divide this into quarters. And I like to start in the lower left-hand corner so that I know that I can kind of work my way around. And it's called a blind contour because you need to spend 100% of your time looking at your subject, 0% of your time looking at this. That way you're forcing yourself to really get a good depiction in your mind and a connection between your hand and your mind of the subject that you're going to draw. So set a timer for 5 minutes as you're doing this. Do not look at your subject. Keep that eye closed. Sometimes it helps to describe where you're at on the composition, like I'm moving up the skeleton now, the elbow. I'm forcing myself to really slow down a little bit because I want to drag this out to about a 5-minute activity. Getting around the clavicle of him. Now the cowboy hat on my skeleton. Getting across the top, around the other cowboy hat side thing here. Getting around to the jaw. And you can see I'm not using a pincher grasp, or I'm trying not to. I'm using a pointer grasp. The only reason you should stop and look at your drawing is if you break your lead, so that you have to put a new pencil on there, or you go off the page so that you know where to go back. So now I'm moving up the big male figure. I'm on the elbow of the male figure. You'd be surprised how close actually your depiction of what you're drawing is if you really slow down and pay close 5-minute attention on your subject. Now I'm going to continue this all the way around. And I'm just worried about the outside, the absolute contour, the edge of my objects and where it meets the atmosphere. So like in this case, I have to move up into his armpit a little bit. I'm going to move down to that knee, moving across on that pad, getting around the top of the skull, cheekbone of the skull, getting around to the other pad, that other figure there, her bald head, the ear, neck, shoulder. I'm starting to really get fatigued at this point. I'm definitely feeling like I want to stop, but I got to keep going. Try to make that 5 total minutes. I've got a little stool there, then I've got another male torso figure. Getting close to the end here. Again, this is an observational exercise to get your brain fluidity moving, your left and right brain working together. Getting around that foot. So I really don't care if it looks like the subject. This is just something you need to do to get a good grasp for what you're drawing. Now I'm going to stop. Get up a little closer here. And that looks pretty good, actually. I mean, what I'm looking for here is, did I spend a lot of time really paying attention to all the crazy stuff on the outside of that contour? Did I slow down and pay attention to all that? Nothing looks really stylized at all, you know? So that looks like a good blind contour at this juncture. Now, because I used a lot of this page here, I'm just gonna move over here to do my gesture drawing. So this is blind contour, and I'm using a 6B pencil for this. This here is gonna be a gesture drawing. Okay.